The sun is shining, the last birds that haven't migrated south make this Swedish day in September feel more like a perfect summer day. The vague wind that dances through the vegetation disturbs the otherwise dull tinnitus howl that so wonderfully fills the head. I take a sip of water and then wipe the sweat from my forehead before it runs down behind my sunglasses. I am in an enormous forest, but here it is no more than maybe 400 meters across, and in this forest I know almost every stone. I played here as a kid. In those days there was a small swamp where tadpoles were caught. We put them on the patio and feed them, changed water and so. It didn't take many days before we realized our mistake. There were mosquitoes, hundreds of mosquitoes. But both the swamp and the fence that guarded the sheep that grazed freely are since long gone. I believe I can tell a shift in solar transmission in the dense terrain. It is impossible to see through, but the light flickers unnaturally. Someone or something is on the other side of these large bushes and fallen trees. I estimate that the distance between us is just under 10 meters. Further on, the shrubbery ends and there are several of these narrow paths that come together in a form of multi-way intersection. But only 2 of these follow the hiking path, the rest are off-road, so to speak. The south way I come from and the north way I will continue on. The sun is at my back. It's about an hour or 2 after lunch and it's plus 30 Celsius. Not something I'm used to at these latitudes, but I'm extremely grateful and just enjoying it when I see a person coming from behind the bushes from my southwest side at 7 o'clock. I do as always. Check him from head to toe, his body language, what he has in his hands, etc. He has no idea I'm there, and from his relaxed demeanor, he must think he's alone in this part of the forest. And I understand him. There aren't usually that many people here at this time of day. He is on the phone and I can tell that the conversation is important but not of a negative nature. Nor do I get the feeling that he is talking to the boss who pays the salary, nor the one at home waiting. He has no idea that I am now walking on the same path as him, just a few meters behind. And while the distance shrinking and my shadow beginning to approach his feet, I take it for granted that, just like me, he keeps an eye on whether someone is approaching by keeping an eye on lights, shadows, etc. But I'm wrong. I know, since he don't even see me now when I'm 2 meters behind on his left. I try to give as much space between us as possible, but at the same time as we round one bush. No use in making any sound since he got earplugs, and we now enter between 2 larger very dense bushes, so the passage becomes very narrow. And very much no shade, so he has no idea I'm coming and no chance to see it until I'm next to him. His spontaneous reaction was expected. He jump and scream like a girl turning Barbie on fire. However, I hadn't counted on his spontaneous immediate reaction just half a second later when he sees me. If I had to guess, I think he got the idea that I was going to give his fantasy created from all the news a reality-based foundation. I think he thought he was going to die for real. He yells even louder, and he is either very scared or extremely surprised, which we both are 2 seconds later when the person lands on the bum in the bush to the right of the both of us. I slowly raise my hands in front of my chest and rotate around his ground zero, just showing that I'm not here for him. Then I move on, using the landscape to break contact. I make my way down the slope where the grass is high and in cover of the shade from the trees. I have set a clearing as the starting point for the drone, and I don't think more about the incident but lose myself completely in all the memories that rush in from this place in the past. Between the trees on the crest of the slope to my left, there he is again. I laugh a little to myself and wonder if he sees me this time. I come down to the little path he is now walking on. I cross it and we laugh quiet a little about the first meeting we had only some 3 minutes ago. We nod in agreement. He continues his phone call, alone, in the woods, and I set off to break contact again and get ready to fly the drone and hope for some good photos. I then continue treading ground on the small paths, partly overgrown with large roots, but the road is so trampled over the decades that for us who were born here, it is like a minor country road for cross-country. What do the wild boys in the forest say? Always ready.